absolutely the right call at the end of the game. Throw the flag. Antoine Winfield Jr. got there early. He got there and didn't turn around and look towards the quarterback, look for the ball. And here's the thing. Dion Lewis, as a receiver, has the ability to come back to the ball. It's almost like a back shoulder throw for a wide receiver. You have the ability to come back to the ball. But and so it certainly was the right call. I'm not sure why they picked up the flag, but I also understand why they did. Think about this. The Giants are 1-6 coming into the game, and they have Daniel Jones as their quarterback. The Tampa Bay Bucks, the new New England Patriots, are 5-2, have Tom Brady as their quarterback.
And there you go.
One of those guys. Well, think about this. The refs throw the flag. They come together and they say, well, timeout. Let's realize what's going on here. We're going to give the Giants, who are 1-6, the opportunity to try to win this game and go to overtime? No way. We're going to go and we're going to allow
standing ovation. Standing ovation for Brian Westbrook.
That's what happened. In football, it's the same thing in basketball. Better players, better teams get calls, Brandon, and this is exactly what happened last night.
Let's not bring LeBron into this. Let's not. We don't need to muddy the waters. Let's just leave your great take exactly where it was. What changed between the time the refs threw the flag and when they all got together? Here's what changed. 4 words, 2 names. Daniel Jones in this hand, Tom Brady in this hand. Well, you know, if it's close, Tom's had some rough breaks lately. Let's just give it to old Tommy. So it took 48 minutes, but I'm glad someone on this show, Brandon, had the courage that Brian Westbrook has from his palatial estate, wherever he is right now. And I don't know if he's in Brooklyn or D.C. or the Netherlands, wherever he's living at the moment. It was palatial estate to give the cold, hard truth about what we saw on Monday Night Football, Brandon.
So since you guys want to react and respond emotionally, I'm actually going to react and just break down the fundamentals of football. First of all, it was a great job by the refs picking up the flags, B. I'm shocked that you went this way. You're Nick Wright, he must have paid you off, because this is absolutely a great job by the Tampa Bay Bucks. He played it perfectly. It's a bang-bang play. He got there right when the ball was coming. Now, if he violently knocked this guy off track, then we could be saying, great, this is a bad call. But I absolutely love the refs not getting in the way. Now, let's go to Daniel Jones, break down the fundamentals. First of all, Daniel Jones is late with the ball. Second, he throws it behind the receiver. And then what are you taught as a wide receiver when the ball is thrown behind you? Come back to the ball and force the refs to call the pass interference. None of that happened, and that's why these guys are losing games the way they are, because of the fundamentals, starting with their quarterback. You know this is your read. If the flat is there, throw it right away. Brian, how many flat routes have you caught for touchdowns in the National Football League? Come on. You know the quarterback got to get it out of his hands right now. He hesitated. He looked at the slant when he should have went straight to the flat.
Okay.
It's certainly a late throw. There's no doubt about that. But the receiver has the ability to come back to the ball, Wiles, and you have to believe that this is pass interference.
All right, Wiles, jump in here.
Well, I've got 2 takes. One is I didn't realize that it was tinfoil hat day on the show with everyone claiming there's vast conspiracy theories about Tom Brady, or I wouldn't have spent so much time on my hair. I would have gone to the kitchen and fashioned a hat out of tinfoil like Nick does. Secondly, this one is actually an interesting take, not about hairstyles. I bet, and there's been Sloan studies on this is what home field advantage is, that if the place was rocking, if MetLife was rocking, and there was a big cheers, like, okay, we're going to go, that the refs would not pick up the flag. That the 50, 60,000 people in MetLife would put enough pressure on the refs, and this is not like it's not something they actually think of, it's just like human nature, that the pass interference would have stood. That's my take.
Jenna, just quickly, because since Wilds, I don't know if he was taking a shot at my hair or my take with the tinfoil thing. I just want America to understand what everyone's favorite, television rapscallion Kevin Wilds just said in 45 seconds. It is lunacy conspiracy theory to think the refs could be influenced by Tom Brady. but totally believable they would have been influenced by 70,000 strangers.
By 70,000.
Okay. If that's the take, that they could be influenced by a crowd, but not by which team is supposed to win,
not a take. That's
I
facts.
feel like Wilds.
Oh, my goodness.
Right, and you know what's also facts?
That's your buddy
Tom
Daryl
Brady's
Morey
teams have
slogan.
gotten
That's-
every call for 20 years. You know what's also facts?
True.
These calls always go Brady's way. That's also facts. So you can do a Sloan study on that one, Jenna. I'm excited for the results.
Jenna.
What's
It's
up,
not,
Brandon?
Jenna,
Talk
it's
to
not
me.
true. These guys are emotional right now. Fundamentals. It wasn't violent. He didn't knock the guy off track. Daniel Jones throw the ball to the front pylon, and you get you get this score,
Right.
and it's this 2-point conversion, and it's a different conversation. You didn't do your job, Daniel Jones. So when we break down the quarterback position, yes, you can talk about the turnovers, and he's Ryan Leaf Jr., but these are the fundamentals. You drop back and throw it to the flat right away.
Hey, Brandon Marshall, our voice of reason. He's not Ryan Leaf Jr. He's actually Ryan Leaf. Daniel Jones, careless once again with the football, and it cost his team. He threw 2 more interceptions in the second half last night. Guys, that is 13 turnovers in 8 games at last check. Brian, back to you. Where is your confidence meter on Daniel Jones as the Giants franchise quarterback?
You know, Jen, I wrestled with this and I struggled with this topic for a little bit here. And I have to be honest, and I'm just going to say this. I've watched Daniel Jones, all of his throws all season long, and I think the kid actually can play. Here's a problem that he's facing in New York.
God.
They don't have a very good team around him. They don't have their star running back. I think that if he has the types of receivers that Justin Herbert or Joe Burrow has, even though I like Sterling Shepard, and I like Darius Slayton, they're still not the 6'4" guys that Herbert has there out there with the Chargers. He's not the guys that they have out there with Joe Burrow in Cincinnati. But if he had those types of guys, he wouldn't have to press as much. These types of throws that he's making, these interceptions, and I know there's been every single game except for one he's thrown an interception. I understand that. But he's pressing. He's trying to do too much because he's a good player. He's looking around him and saying, okay, I don't have a bunch of talent around me. I have to do more. I have to overcome some of the deficits in talent, and that's why he's making some of these plays. You put some better players around him, I think he plays a total different type of football game, and he's a better player because of it.
Nice. Good
I
take.
do think
Well said, nice.
that the Giants would be drastically helped. To support Brian's point, I do think the Giants would be drastically helped by adding some speed at receiver, so after Jones throws a pick, someone can chase down the corner. But that's it. This is Brian's all-time worst take. The guy has played 20 career games. 19 of them, he's turned the ball over. 8 of them, he's turned the ball over more than once. And folks, I know some people aren't going to want to hear it, but the nerds are winning the quarterback evaluation debate. 4 years ago, the football folks, the biggest discrepancy between football folks and nerds on who could be good and who's going to stink, Mitch Trubisky. Nerds hated him, football folks, oh, big, strong, athletic. Okay, nerds won. Next year, you know who it was about? Josh Allen. Oh, he can throw the ball 45 miles per hour through a 90-mile-an-hour wind the other direction. Buffalo's perfect for him. Who cares that he completed 3 out of 4 or 3 out of 6 passes every game in Wyoming? He can be great. Nerds said, no, he can't. Nerds are going to win. And the next year was Daniel Jones. The nerds, of which I am either part of the community or nerd adjacent, said, the hell you doing here, folks? And Dave Gettleman said, I watched him saunter into the Senior Bowl and I was smitten. It was like my first time at the soda pop shop in 1962. And we all said, you sound ridiculous. This guy can't play. And Brandon, he can't play. He can make a lot of throws, but he can't play in this league. The nerds were right about him. They've been right about a lot of these guys.
I agree. And Brian, why'd you go there, man? He's just not good. You know, here's the thing. Let's take the interceptions out of there. We know that he's right there on pace with Ryan Leaf. He's right there with Ryan Leaf, all-time worst quarterback. Let's break down what we need to be looking at the quarterback position. What is your feet work, your footwork in the pocket? That last play that we keep highlighting, this is why this is important. Because what you want the quarterback to do is take a 3-step drop and throw the flat if they give it to you. That's your first read. So there should have been no hesitation. What did he do? He peeked at the slant, then he went back. Look at it. Look at his feet. He said, why are you hesitating? When I sat there with Mark Trestman in Chicago and he broke down the quarterback position to Jay Cutler, he broke down the quarterback position to Josh McCown. He said if the flat is there, whether we have slant flat, curl flat, you take it right away. I don't care if it's one-on-one cover 3 because that flat could be a touchdown. That flat could potentially go for 15 yards. Post routes, the post route, throw it on the hash. Why aren't you throwing it on the hash? Why are we continue to make these same mistakes? You don't have to press. Just do your job because you're not just being evaluated on your stats. What you're being evaluated on is, are you actually going through your reads? Are you going through your progressions? Are you making the right decisions? Assignment, alignment, that's what we're looking at.
Brandon, you are a tough judge. You're tougher than Joe Judge as far as our judges go in the Giants conversation. Quick caveat, correction. The nerds did not say, quote, "The hell you doing?" No, the nerds do not say that, Nick. So that's just not nerd speak. So quick correction there. Brian, I'm going to be in the middle because the Giants have 8 games left, and we don't really know if Daniel Jones is any good or not. The nerds say he's not. Brian says he's good. Call me crazy. I'm going to side with Brian. The first touchdown that Daniel Jones threw,
oh my goodness,
and the last one that he threw were absolutely beautiful. They were beautiful. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. So I think he's right there in the middle. And I think we've got 8 games left. Look at this play. This is an absolutely gorgeous play. So the Giants have 8 games left. You got 2 categories of quarterbacks.
A gorgeous
good ones,
play.
Not so good ones.
It's a gorgeous catch.
Here are the good ones. Yeah, it's both. Here are the good ones. Burrow, Wilson, Kyler, and Lamar. That's category A. Here's category Z. Whoever's starting a quarterback for Washington, Wentz, Baker, and probably Andy Dalton. After these 8 games, this is the final test for Daniel Jones. I think the Giants management has to sit back and say, all right, which category is he in? Is he in the Russell Wilson, Kyler, Lamar category? Or is he in the Carson Wentz, Baker, Andy Dalton, whoever Washington has category?
He's
and
worse
I think that
than
will
all
determine
those guys.
His future.
He's in his own. He's with. Yes,
we'll have to wait and
Not
see if
worse
he's a
than wherever
franchise
Washington's
quarterback or
starting.
not. But speaking of franchise quarterbacks, the Patriots might be in the market for one. Things have really changed in New England since we've seen scenes like this. And now we may be learning why. We'll tell you next. First things first.
You don't break this up.
America.
Don't break this up.